Live on Facebook.
Ignore that message.
All right, take it away, Richie.
Nice. So we're live. For those of you who are joining in, this is the Berkeley Poetry Slam's first virtual slam. So yeah, we're going to have a nice night. We have 9 poets set up and an amazing feature. Tonight we're gonna do things a little bit different and get our do our feature first. So I guess I'll just go right into it and introduce our feature. Our feature tonight is Ariana Brown. Um, and I'll just read her bio real quick. Ariana Brown is a queer Black Mexican American poet from San Antonio, Texas, with a BA in African Diaspora Studies and Mexican American Studies. She is the recipient of 2 Academy of American Poets Prizes and a 2014 Collegiate National Poetry Slam champion. Ariana, who has been dubbed a part-time curandera, is primarily interested in using poetry to validate Black girl rage in all of its miraculous forms. Follow her work online at arianabrown.com or on Twitter and Instagram, Ariana the Poet. You can find her new book, Messy Girl, at Patreon, www.patreon.com/Ariana the Poet. There you can find different tiers to support Ariana, a full-time touring poet. Of course, that bio does not do you justice, so I'm going to let you and your work speak for yourself. And take it away, Ariana.
Thank y'all so much. This is super weird, and I'm super grateful y'all are doing this. I've missed having a.
Can you speak up just a little bit? It's hard to hear.
Oh, that stinks. Can y'all? Yeah, that's not my favorite. Does that sound better now? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. Thank y'all for having me. I'm gonna get right into it because it's quite late over here. Yeah, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna start with mostly poems from my new chapbook, Sana Sana. I was supposed to be on tour right now, and I am stuck in Massachusetts. So I wanted to share poems that are mostly from the chapbook since I'm really excited about it. And so if you're interested in that, you can find it on my website, arianabrown.com. But yeah, here we go. Yeah. You were once teenage purveyor of the white girl gospel, zealous pupil of the hot comb, of oily neck and folded ear. But before that, you were young. You were asked questions about your dead father and your hair, your first conversation with God, faithless, child of the singing forehead, child of the frustrated wrist. Your mother yelled because you fell asleep on your aunt's pillows and now the whole couch smells of you. Child of amorous pomade, everyone can tell where you've been. Even bus windows remember your name. Child of the curl that stole the wind's fury. How could everything about you not be bursting? Child of the busted chongo, child of the broken brush, splitting anything weak in half while still blushing for a gentle hand. You are your own lesson in commitment. Child of royalty, of the silk scarf before bed, defender from the cotton resurrected each night to steal you back, every pillowcase a looming field of ghosts. Child of the rained out funeral, child of grocery bag protection. At age 12, washing your own hair is your first act of humility. Listening to your Blackness, your first mode of resistance. Child of the eloquent scalp, which negotiations did you lose today? How many times did you lift your hands in ceremony to unravel and partition? Tell us how you learned to fix, fluff, and plait, to wind and plow, how you were late for class and work doing so, how you skipped breakfast, how you tended, how you greeted a new ancestor in the mirror and let their moans trickle and slither down the length of you, how each strand circles back to its own beginning. Child of inheritance, rejecting gravity and its theorems, the eternal resilience When the weather catches you unprepared, you curse each raindrop, undoing your labor with its disrespectful weight. But unlike anything else in the world, when smothered in water, submerged in a substance thick enough to kill you, nearly drowned and gasping, you rise and refusing invisibility, grow to the size all benevolent gods are. Cool. That was my first poem. I don't know if y'all could hear in the background, but my partner's cat has the zoomies right now. So if you hear some like scratching sounds, it's just the cat like running across the living room for no reason right now. Okay, this next poem is called Superpower. I also have an EP of a good number of these poems set to music, just like instrumental music in the background. So if you're interested in that too, you can also find that on my website. Okay, this is a poem I wrote on the way back to myself after a really bad relationship. So here we go. My love is strong, like my mother. My love is so big, it needs a new name. I've been chewed up in the mouth of a man. I've been promised and lied to and roll close with the floor and my tear ducts, and still my love know how to fill a room. My love is a superpower. Got it from my mama, who gave me her blood and my daddy's last name. I am named after a love that refused to break. I am proof of what survives. Depression, death. I inherited myself. I'm an endless well, clear water, the surest you ever drank. I look in the faces of men who left and say it was an honor to be loved by me. You have no idea the world I built while humming a song that used to kill me. I know my voice, know what this spirit is capable of. It is an honor to be loved by me. When my love was spat on and bullied, twisted and made ugly by unworthy hands, men who did not love me but wanted things from me, I could have chosen to float, to believe in drifting and homelessness and anything that makes me less rooted to this earth. The thing is, I was made for this, held together by warmth and a stitch of light, guided by my mother's voice and my daddy's voice in the wind. I was made from this. I couldn't leave my love if I wanted to. It's the truest thing I ever learned to do. Bearer of the embarrassing smile, keeper of all my teeth. I say I love you and my body says we know how to do this. I've been alive here, unrequited here, and there is nothing wrong with carrying a love bigger than you, a superpower, thread connecting everywhere I've been with everywhere I will go. And I'm blessed to know. I am blessed to know. Okay, I thought that it might be nice to share a new poem. So this next poem I'm gonna share is brand new. I haven't shared it with anybody ever. And I'm still trying to figure out what to call it. So this is for anyone who has like complicated relationships with family members. Okay. I come from a line of daughters kept in the center of the eye, watched under intense light. The words our mothers say etch us into shapes they are comfortable seeing. I remember being my own, being related to, but not the same as the women around me. I am allowed this. I allow myself this. The boys will take shape in darkness, choose their outlines freely, and I will be scolded for wearing my pants low and baggy like my favorite uncle and his son. I shaved my head at 17 and I'm scolded for looking like a boy. I was trying out defiance. Underneath the identities the world has mapped onto me, what am I like? What do I prefer? What kind of daughter prefers herself over her mother's wishes? Harshness, a thorny embrace, a finite amount of compassion. The things I inherited did not make me a good friend, so I am working on them. I wish my mother would do the same. She is the center of all my poems, the point where I unravel. My mother, like any woman, is a person to whom terrible things happened, who now lives in the aftermath. I am not from the aftermath. I am from my mother. I want to be from a world where she does not have to be strong. We romanticize the strength of women, pretend we don't see what it costs. My great uncle starved his mother to death and she left him her house, despite his sisters and their sacrifices. I don't think having children is worth it. I don't think having children is for everyone. We have no idea how to be tender, how to let others be themselves, to apologize, to try harder. I have permission to let go people who won't work to make things right with me. The only spirit I'm tethered to is my own. You know, I am also from the shapes in the darkness, that blurred freedom I struggle to see. I never thought I'd be this sad or lonely, but I am not on my own. I am on my way. I'm collecting my things. Okay. The next poem I'm going to read is called Myself First. And this poem is actually in both Sana Sana and my chapbook Messy Girl that's on my Patreon. Okay. The shame tells me not to tell you about the men who saw my softness or my blackness and called it an opening, but did not call me girlfriend. I did not know love only has one name, that anyone who comes to you wanting a mother or a distraction or a ride or die is a thief. What is misogyny but a parasite in the mirror, a liar in a lover's mouth? A man's voice licks my ear even when I'm alone, teaches me the angles I look worst in. I was born a Black girl and I've been lonely ever since. My friend, who's not Black, says he doesn't know how to deal with rejection because he's never wanted someone who didn't want him back. A privilege to be more than a skeleton with blood everyone can see, to be allowed flesh and soul, to get to be whole. I want to tell you that once I loved a Black girl and it was miraculous. When we were alone. In public, we avoided men, got asked a lot if we were sisters. Have you ever made a choice between truth and danger? Did you know for centuries, white men in brothels have paid to watch Black women have sex with each other? Do you know how it feels to be gazed upon, to be looked at under the knife in a man's eye, to know strangers are raising their dicks and soiling your name while you try to make it home? There is no territory untouched by Black women's blood. There is no lover I've had that I haven't also feared, except her. The shame was wearing my hands when I threw my favorite CDs in the trash. Each girl-powered anthem chanted in pop songs reminded me how unsophisticated my interests are. The shame forbids dancing in public, hisses a reminder that men eat with their eyes and will feast whenever my body appears. The shame almost crawled up my throat and spoke to my ex-girlfriend before I choked and shoved it in the deep well of myself. I couldn't wield my tongue like an axe and say I loved her in the same breath. The first time I loved a Black girl, I learned to love myself. I say girl because it's what we're not allowed to be, except around each other. I take back my shaved head, my hair uncurled and nappy, everything I prefer over someone else's image of me. I whisk my 6-year-old self to a tender present, offer the grace I was denied, a gentle hand at the back of the neck, a lesson in commitment. Yesterday, I loved a Black girl, and today that girl is myself. Whenever I go missing, let me return here first. Let me choose myself first. I'm being heckled by my partner's cat. Okay, I have 2 more poems scheduled, and then y'all can let me know if there's time for me to do one more or not. This next poem is for my cousin.
Keep reading.
Okay. This next poem is for my cousin Micah, and it is about braiding her hair, like the feeling of braiding her hair. Okay. We've picked a color to make her happy, honey blonde or burgundy, a hollering red, blissful obsidian, a dreamy lavender. After the wash and waking of each strand with something to keep moisture, I touch the scalp with ease, bring only good gifts, and listen to the singing in my lower back, neck, arms, and wrist when I conjure the souls of these digits to practice. My pinky gives me the most pain when I'm braiding, shouts at its bend, tying yarn or kanekalon at the square root of someone's head, someone who I love, and my shoulders hunch in defiance, and my forehead oils itself anew, and my knees bring their grievances to the top of the bloodstream, and here is my body, wilting in reverence. If I could, I would destroy every memory of standing in a mirror with brush and head half done, the feeling of needing help and no one to ask for it. I don't know what the world expects of little Black girls, but it isn't freedom to know oneself intimately, to take pleasure in our many transformations, grow 18 inches of weave in the span of a few hours, and be recognizable only to those who love us whole and consistently. I make braids or conversation, and the head I'm working leans and aches. We cue a movie, coo a humble song to lift the lungs, and ours is a texture architectural, mimicking the forest and its triumphant green. I take the shape of trees. I'm as old as the unshed leaf. Every spruce, cedar, and pine is showing off for me, and all my sisters deserve the sun's reach, the wind's kiss and howl atop the scalp. Proof we are the earth's earliest kin, shape-shifting for protection. And when we are done, I slip each end through a candle's light, or cloth and burning water, small flame prayer sent up in smoke, or sealed and soaking in the center of my hands. This I learned, this I taught myself, a secret I pass to all I love who mirror me. I don't know what the world expects of little Black girls, but we never did this to be beautiful, though we did become so in the process. Okay, this next poem is one of my favorite poems. It's also a newer poem, so I don't have it memorized yet. But it is for my favorite singer, who is a reggaeton singer named Osuna. And so this poem is it's called Odisea, which is the name of his first album, Odisea for Osuna. He's not the negrito from my tia's loteria board, not the way Mexicans say negro when they really mean dark skin for someone who's not Black. No, el negrito o claro, he's the one I follow inside the song. Osuna takes my hand and sings Baila conmigo, mujer. I understand the instruction. I don't know how to dance to reggaeton, but I close the door to my room and I am transported. Here, negro is the right color or the only color, and the music chooses me too. Osuna smiles and the floor shakes and delivers a crowd of Black folk bouncing to the rhythm of our own joy. And I think I have always deserved this, a sound, a happy sound, a song I can live inside of safely and not question the intent of what is being sung to me. How many words has Osuna taught me in my grandmother's language? Si la noche solamente comienza, if music is all we got, how long did I wait for this? To be one among many, to hold all these histories, not one of them painful, not now, not here. Osuna is the Afro-Latino crush I deserved in high school. I want his poster in every corner of my room. Osuna, I made a poem for you about the oceans inside me that swirl and tumble at the sound of your voice. I am made of water. I am touching the countries we claim between us. Isn't this a little bit of magic? A song starts when the poem ends and we hear echoes of each other in the wind. Gently, gently, swaying. I'm younger than I've been. I'm 10. I'm 15. Is this the opposite of depression? Community? Care? It was years before I wrote poems about loving myself, but they come so easy now. Your music, fluid as the waves at my scalp, a warmth cast across a blooming sea. Your music makes mornings bearable. Your music is a sunny afternoon, the light between the blinds reminding me to go outside. The body is meant to be in motion. Your music reminds me to move. I tell everyone about you and hope they feel what I do. My cousin knows all the words to all your songs, and I'm only a little jealous. It will take me longer, more listens, more carefully, but I hope you never make a song in English if you don't want to. I'm willing to do the work. I know you will find me on the radio in Houston, with my headphones in San Antonio, and every flight in between. In La Ciudad de Mexico, I saw your name in graffiti, sprawled on the side of a highway, on the side of a mountain. Odisea, the journey we took to get here. the worlds we made for ourselves that ended up being for our people too. All right, y'all, that's all I have, unless, yeah, am I at time already?
You can read one more.
One more? Okay, cool. I will read one more poem then. Yeah, I'm actually gonna read a poem from my full-length manuscript that I've been working on. I have a series of poems that are addressed to or about this man named Gaspar Yanga, who was captured in West Africa, enslaved in Mexico, freed himself, and maintained a maroon community of Black and Indigenous people who freed themselves from slavery, evaded capture from the Spaniards for over 30 years, and gave them so much hell that eventually the Spanish crown granted Yanga and his settlement land, and that became the first free African settlement in the Americas. There are no surviving images of Yanga. So I have like a series of poems that are just me sort of talking to him and him talking back to me. Because there are no images of him, that's a thing that like comes up in my manuscript, like this desire to know what he looked like. So this poem is called Why I Want to Know What Yanga Looked Like. If I had a photograph of Yanga, if one arrived in the mail from a friendly but weary postman in a long, thick envelope sealed with spit that was spat between the gap in two clean teeth, because I think of Yanga as having a gap between his teeth. Not sure why, it just seems like it makes sense. Not a humongous gap, but a small one, a thin space between two yellow bones at the front of his mouth, the crack in a bell that makes the song sweeter. And when I speak about songs, I'm always speaking about freedom, a gap like that, where everything goes black for a minute and then the lights come on, and somehow what you are seeing is more beautiful because of the interruption, because the interruption becomes part of the thing itself. And suddenly you can't imagine the two teeth, wide and high at the top of the mouth like sails, having ever existed without a dark spell in between them, marker of an absence, skinny black pillar, little room holding everything I have lost since Yanga's escape, since the sieges on land and by foot, the open door to 4 centuries of running and a fistful of secret languages I only speak in my dreams. If I looked at the photograph of Yanga and found all that, a litany of things thieved from my contemporary memory, and Yanga had sealed the envelope with spit and a lick of aloe vera, then I'd frame the photograph and hang it in the center of my home. So every time I left before locking the door, I'd check for Yanga, grinning at me with a gaze 4 centuries long, black streak in his smile, the 2 large teeth shining like sugar. All right, y'all, that's all I got for reals this time. Thank y'all.
Thank you so much. That was our feature, Ariana Brown. Like I said earlier, you can check out her work on her website. I'm pulling things up right now. Yay, internet. You can check things out on her website, arianabrown.com, and also support her on her Patreon, www.patreon.com/Ariana the Poet. Support poets, support artists, especially during this time. Like I know you had a tour, and so many events are getting canceled, and I know as a touring artist, like that's a huge chunk of income. That's like, see ya. So definitely support touring artists. A lot of artists don't qualify for like things like unemployment and things like that because they're working for themselves or it's harder to get. So support our artists so we can still be here when we're able to come together in person. We have to maintain the resources that have been taken away. So definitely check her out on her website and her Patreon. That being said, we're gonna move on to our slam. I'm just gonna check, make sure everybody is here. Um, it looks like everyone is here. So before we begin, I'm just gonna go over the rules for everyone just one more time and for the people watching at home, because where else would they be watching from in this day and age? So first for the poets, again, no props, no costumes, no musical accompaniment. Um, you have a time limit of 3 minutes and 10 seconds. After 3 minutes and 10 seconds, there will be a time penalty. And shout out to our scorekeeper, Maxine. They're really great today doing math on a Wednesday night. You could never get me to do that. Um, yeah, after 4 minutes, you will be muted. Please don't get muted. That's gonna be so awkward for everyone involved. So yeah, 3 minutes and 10 seconds. Um, next for the judges. Y'all are going to be scoring from 0.0 to 10.0 scale. A 0.0 is the worst piece of shit you ever heard in your life. It's like you're quarantined with Trump. Need I say more? That's like an 8.5. A 10 is the best thing you ever heard. It's like you're not quarantined, you're going outside, and outside there's just outside is made of candy. You are in the Willy Wonka chocolate factory. Not only is it candy, but if you do, it is weed candy. So everybody's high, everybody's happy. We have world peace, and no one is trying to kill somebody else. And that's like a 7.5. Point being, there's not a lot of zeros and there's not a lot of 10s score accordingly. There's this thing called score creep, where as the night goes on and we might get a little bit drunker, because I know we at home and I got this Hennessy on deck. Um, the poetry starts sounding better and we start giving out higher scores. Don't do that shit. That is not good for the people that go up first. So to combat that, we have a sacrificial poet. They'll be going up first. They're not competing, but you're going to score them like they are competing. In any poems you like more, score them higher. Any poems you don't like as much, score them lower. The way you're going to score is you're going to private message our scorekeeper, Maxine, your scores, and then we will find out at the end. Yeah, so here's the thing. This is all virtual and it's so weird because like there's no audience. So I know like I can't gauge how y'all feeling. So even though it's like online or whatever, like still like let us know how you feel. There's these reactions that you can use, where you can like give a thumbs up or clap. If you hear something, do that. Use the group chat, as well as everybody sitting at home. There's a comment section in every single live stream that we have up right now. If you're hearing something that you like, let us know. A lot of these poets, like we might not be able to see it now, but if we look back at it, we can see the love and support that you're sending to us. And that encourages us to keep writing and keep doing things like that. So definitely show us love. And while you're at it, like, share, and subscribe our Instagram and Twitter at Berkeley Slam and Facebook at the Berkeley Poetry Slam. Keep up with us. We do this a lot. Yeah. That being said, be mindful. We are on a live stream. So like while it's freedom of speech, like it's also like not freedom from like the consequences of what the fuck you just said. We got moderators. We're not dealing with that. Let's see. I think we had a question about who Maxine is. If you pull up the participant button, Maxine should be on there with their name. So you can definitely PM them that way. If you're still having trouble, let us know and we can figure that out. Let's see. We got that, we got that, we got that. Look at you. You are on track. All right, are y'all ready to hear like who's going in what order? Yay! That's the crowd. So the poet shall be reading in this order. We got Chardonnay, then we got Dog Days Are Over, then we got Chev, then we got King Richard, then we got Trillery Swank, then we got Colin, then we got Vibing Poetic, and then we have Bambi. Nice. But before we begin, we need that sacrificial poet, somebody to spill the blood. So everybody show love, send great energy for our sacrificial poet, Z.
Hello, 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 hello.
Wait, hold on. I can't find you. Real quick.
Oh.
There's Zion McThomas.
Okay.
Yeah,
All
that's
right.
me. That's me.
Okay, you have the floor.
All right. My name is Z from Mississippi, sacrificial poet for this lovely event. Thank you to Berkeley Slam for their participation, all that good stuff. God will bring us together. I had a girl tell me that God will bring us together when she was the one who tore us apart. What God put together, let no man put asunder. You got scared and left me wondering if we ever had anything legit. God, I swear I thought you were heaven sent. You crossed all the T's, your eyes I easily got lost in, but you still were hidden to me. There was always something in between. You didn't mean any of the words you said, a string you tied around my cardiac, pulling every time you felt the grip get loose. You don't care. Honestly, I doubt if you did. Was I just a plaything to put away when it became inconvenient? It's funny though. You used to say you hated when I told you that I'll love you for as long as you let me. You said it made you feel like I thought that you would just leave. No, it wasn't that. It was a part of me making this insurance plan, but it didn't see this coming. This pain, this hurt. You lied and you don't even care. You looked you looked in her eyes the same way you looked in mine just some months ago. You switch feelings like clothes, and I guess seasons change, so does your arm candy. It stings, but I knew deep down I felt something wasn't right, but I still gave you the benefit of the doubt. Love, I swear. I fell too fast and too hard. That's my fault. I ignored all the signs, mesmerized by a beauty I never saw before. I bit into the apple and it got stuck. You still linger in my brain. Months after, a small piece of my heart you gathered there. I hope you're all right. I hope you're happy. No, I don't want to rekindle. I'm past that. I just want to know why you didn't tell me. You said you loved me and that nothing would change. I'm not stupid. I knew girls would be checking on you, trying to sink their hooks in. I just wish you would have took yours out like I asked. Now I'm sitting here memorizing poems about a new love, thinking about you. God will bring us back together. You still my poo. Your words, not mine. Your actions, not match. God will bring us back together, but you tore us apart. So I don't think he will. I'm not asking him to. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. All right. So, judges, I'm going to give y'all a couple seconds to get your scores together and send them to Maxine. Yeah, this like normally there's like banter and I'm like waiting to read out scores, but I'm not even going to see them. So, like, we're going to figure out what those scores are. Or Maxine, do you want to message me what the score is and I'll announce the score after the next poet? That way.
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah.
Or I'll just message you.
Yeah, thank you. So lit. That was our sacrificial poet. So judges, you are now experts. I expect you to be consistent, to follow your heart, to follow your head, and do what you think is best. Yeah. and we're gonna keep it pushing. So on deck, meaning not now, but coming up next, we have Dog Days Are Over. But give it up for our first poet competing in the slam. Give it up for Chardonnay.
You have the floor.
We can't hear you.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Why did nobody ask the female daddy longleg if being called daddy translates to an erasure of her womanhood? The same reason you don't recognize the caucasity of asking me what my pronouns are. You are a queer, non-binary person lacking color as much as you lack respect for boundaries. Unless we're talking about the borders built by your ancestors with the same hands they used to strip the tongues out of the mouths of mine for generations. Their blood in my mouth spills over. A drop for every refusal to abide by this demon tongue. It does not contain a word divine enough to define me. Ancestral memory is so blurry, I lack the words to name the language those before me preferred to use. And now that it's damn near out of reach, you cautiously ask me what my preferences are. Bet. I am the river Oshun, the manly woman, the water you must drink that will also drown you if you even think about disrespecting me. Now look at you, apologizing. Keep your sorries, unless they're in the form of money, because knowing better has never been cause for y'all to do better. So why did no one ask the female daddy longleg if being called daddy translates to an erasure of her womanhood? No one's bothered to learn her language. The word for father is also the word for mother. There is no translation. Twin flames dancing in fluidity, the homely one. It is not uncertainty that fuels my desire to strip the pronouns out of from my tongue. It's the certainty that they, like you, have got me fucked up. In Yoruba culture, there are rituals to change the gender of unborn child, transforming destiny away from misery, or abigu, translation born to die. Translation dies before parents. This demon tongue is failing me again, forcing me to self-soothe. So I asked the female daddy longleg if being called daddy has any effect on her womanhood. She laughed, said men always think what they call us changes us, said we've always been more than woman or man, transcending beyond the umbrella of trends. It's more demon tongue. My blood spilling in my mouth as I say, my pronouns are she or they.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Yeah, that was Chardonnay. So judges, send your scores to Maxine. Oh God, that Henny really hit. Yeah, so and for just everybody, if you're keeping score, our sacrifice Z got a 23.1. Fuck the scores. It's not about the scores. It's about y'all and the poetry. So on deck, we got Shell, but give maximum love to the next person coming up on stage. Give it up for Dog Days Are Over.
Hello, can you all hear me?
Wait, what's your name on the participant?
Hector C. Dog Days Are Over.
Okay.
Either one.
You have the floor.
Okay, cool. This is Homophobia Interviews Queerness and Hinders Them from Answering after Dante Collins. Can you welcome our audience to our liminal late night show? Never mind, I can do that for you. Aren't I such a considerate preacher? I mean, virtue signaler. I mean, how are you doing? No, how are you really doing? Like, how are you doing every interpersonal intimacy I can't comprehend on the bed frame island of your sanctuary sacrosanct? what you do in the privacy of your home is none of my biblical business. But like, what body part, I mean, body does your climax end up on? Does your mattress strain to hold up as much liquid passion as mine? Does its quilted cotton swallow you whole when you don't place an unburnt Bible in the cabinet under your unlit lamp? Do the sheets stain with as much sweat as mine? Does your partner still pleasure scream Jesus with every passion between your uncrucified bodies? Do the creaking steel coils think your bodies are heteronormative? I mean, heterogeneous, like who is the monolith on top and who is the passive cave prepared to consume every insecurity? How can two matchsticks create an inferno as passionate as mine? Does the fire come from your mouth, or did you borrow it from the hell you've yet to be damned to? How can two portals intermingle without a phallic limb passing through them? Do the wet sparks between them come from the literacy I can't find, or does it come from their fantasizing of absent limbs? Do you spill wine on your mattress and clean its holy blood with your tongue, not wanting to waste a single droplet of redemptive salvation like me? Do you Eucharist your lover and cannibalize the bread of their skin, not wanting to waste any sacrificial sacraments like me? Can you look at an atomic child and not envy the nuclear family that birthed it with their own intertwining strands of nucleic flesh? Can you love like there's nothing in the world that can tear you apart from your lover? Can you love like there's nothing in the world that can tear you apart? Can you hear a preacher and not curl your limbs and spine inward? Can you love like there's nothing in the world that can? Can you dive into water and not dissolve into a baptism? Can you love like there's nothing? Can you hold a Bible and not feel your palms singe? Can you love? Let's give a round of applause for our guest. Shall we, America? Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. It looks like one judge didn't send in the score from the first poet. If you can make sure to do that, so we can get that score. Maxine, did you get that score?
Yes, I just got it.
Liniment Toast Crunch. So we'll announce Chardonnay's score in a couple seconds. Lit. But I just wanted to make like an announcement for everybody. As you know, we're online. This is like not normal. We're normally in a building, and that building is called the Starry Plow Pub in Berkeley. As with many venues and many restaurants and bars and pubs in the state of California, the Starry Plow has been closed for a lot of the shelter in place. And that's really hurting business. And so they've set up a GoFundMe. The link will be posted in both our chat here, and if someone can post the link in our live streams, that would be nice. But definitely support our venue.
The link is there.
The link is up?
Correct. The link is up.
Lit. So the link is up. Support our venue. We would not be here if it wasn't for the Starry Plow. The Berkeley Poetry Slam has been going on since 1999, 98, somewhere around there. I was a child when this started, and we've been in the Starry Plow ever since. So it's very rare that a show keeps a venue for 20 years. It's very rare that a venue stays open for that long with the same shows. The Starry Plow has been a community institution for years, and it's important that we support the institutions that are being hurt the most by these shutdowns, in that way that they can reopen when the shutdown is over. So definitely check out the Starry Plow, donate, do something. If you can't donate, you know somebody that can. So the least you should do is share it and make sure we get the word out there. It's only together that we will be able to continue to provide live art in person once these shutdowns are over. So definitely support the Starry Plow. The link is up. And I just got the scores. Chardonnay had a 25.0. Once again, it's not about the points, it's about the poetry. Speaking of poetry, on deck, we have King Richard. But give maximum love to the next poet coming up on stage. Give it up for Chell.
You have the floor.
Hi, just a quick disclaimer. I wrote this like maybe a few hours ago, and also I'm not really that out to my family, so I'm gonna try to keep quiet. Well, like not too quiet, but I'm sorry. Anyway, I remember a few years ago when a closet was a place for me to reside during hide and go seek. I remember my grandmother asking to go back home, having come to visit for my birthday, complaining about how everything in the city was gay, pressed at the fact that two men had the audacity to hold hands at the corner of the street, scandalized to be breathing the same air as the couple in love, only for me to look out the rolled up window and wishing I could breathe the same air. I remember the way I grew uncomfortable. Her words have stuck to me to this day. And it's safe to say that if I had known who I would become in that moment years ago, I replied to her nasty remark of, "Let's go home, there's too many maricas here," was my own retort of, "Abuelita, there's gay people at home too." I remember the closet being a place I never knew I had restricted myself to. But last June, 2 Thursdays before the 20th, after a rough therapy session, I cried into my pillow, tears becoming plenteous, as I came to terms with myself at the mention of my mother's question. Much similar to that day that feels like another lifetime ago, I lay in bed all day in the warmth of the burning sun, jealous as others get to follow their own rules and have all the fun. At least I've made it out of my bedroom on occasions, I say to myself on days when a compliment to a girl slips from my lips. Self-acceptance, another little whisper, comes with a hint of persuasion. Days like these I reminisce of my childhood, before I knew of the dangers of the world, a closeted squared kid, enveloping myself in the golden hour of my youth. Not caring if it were a boy or a girl, I'd still walk up to the kissing booth. I remember how doubtful I was of my own insecurities, but when I saw how openly homophobic the people around me were, I realized I'd have to resort to my childhood tactics and hide myself in my not-so-spacious closet and pretend that those insensitive jabs didn't penetrate my thick Latinx skin. Because as a descendant of mestizas, as someone who was able to pass, I don't fit in one group or the other, the same way my sexuality is shunned and targeted by those in the same boat as me. The same way that my too big of a heart is asked to only choose one. I have so much love to give to this cold-hearted world, have become an orphanage of unrequited love, taking someone who has ever been nice to me in. But the double-edged sword of those pretty-faced parasites have brought me to my scabbed and bruised knees. I made it out of my restricting closet, but at this moment in my life, have confined myself to my bedroom walls. One day, I'll work up the courage to sit in the grass outside of my home and breathe in the same gay air that my grandmother would have suffocated on. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, judges, you know what to do. You know who to send those scores to. Yeah. Let's see. We and Dog Days Are Over had a 25.7. Once again, the points don't really matter. It's all about the poets and the work that they are presenting. So on deck, we have Trillery Swank, but give maximum love for our next performer coming up to this virtual stage. Give it up for King Richard.
You have the floor, Richard.
I want you to know that I can see you. You in the corner with the $1 million smile, with the painted smile, with the that ain't a smile. I know a smile when I see one. I want you to know that I can see how hard you're trying not to cry. You see, you first caught my attention when my buddy whispered, "This guy is hilarious," and I regained consciousness, peered through the haze of Mary Jane's sweet essence in the room, and I saw you, offering up yet another shot of liquid love. That's when I saw you, though not the illusion of you, consumed and regurgitated by this room of intoxicants. I see you, and I know you can see me too. I know because it's taking that much more out of you to keep up this facade. I can see it. The trail of tears that subtly accents your face, I can see it. The look of agony between each and every burst of laughter, I can see it. The desperation in your eyes as you take yet another shot, praying that this is the one that does it. This is the one that makes the pain go away. I can see it. I can see it. I can see it. And it's because I can feel it too. Know too well what it takes to craft a facade so convincing you forget that eventually the mask has to come off. Know too well what it takes to drink your way to nirvana. I know too well what it's like to say fuck it. Because tonight, I really just need a break from reality. Tonight, I find my home in a sea of 100 proof tears. Tonight, I can breathe. Tonight, I can breathe. Tonight, I can finally fucking breathe. Just as I'd forgotten what it felt like. But therein lies the plight of our existence. Always one breath, one puff, one shot away from freedom. So close to us that we can feel it on the tips of our fingers. It's right there. Just as my own mask begins to crumble, you offer me a double of whatever is numbing your pain. Arms outstretched as if you were making a sacrifice to the gods. I accept it, letting the liquid love lull me away from the doldrums, because I recognize that you're still not ready for the mask to come off. Frankly, neither am I. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. Yes, that was King Richard, everybody. Before I announce the last poet's scores, who here knew that we have a workshop? Raise your virtual hand. Yes, we have a writing workshop every Wednesday at 7 p.m. via Zoom. So definitely check out our Facebook page for more information. We always put up an event with the information for our workshop and our show. So yeah, like check us out, come write with us. It's super fun, a super cool way to be a part of the community. And like you're not doing anything anyway, so might as well write. Yeah. And for our last poet, Shell, you got a 25.7. Nice. Okay. And on deck, we have Colin, but give maximum love to the next person coming up on to the virtual stage. Give it up for Trillery Swank.
Hey guys. Okay. This is called Moonlight. The sky has fallen, and as it plays in our laps, we rocket into yesterday while tomorrow's still intact. We're nestling the same old blues. We're raising the same old suns like storms, taking indefinite naps. They rise and fall on the horizon like the breaths we give until we don't have none. Those bags, all void of fun, capable of making a man come in more ways than one. come into fruition, come into focus, come into force, come into fashion, come into favor, come into fatherhood, come into our lives to take life, to bring life. They rise like the tides and set right before our eyes, like concealer and translucent powder. Full coverage needed after our past inaugural, but I'm not here to get political. I'm here to give you empirical evidence on why we contribute to our own malevolence. When I look into the mirror, I don't see the grace God generously gave. I see a reflection void of benevolence. I see the where of the world. I see the where of the world. I see the where of the world. I see the faith I've endlessly waved. I see social constructs vacationing at the eyes. I see the folds underneath to uniform my lies. I see foundations set in to step in and siphon the siphon that the devil must have embezzled at birth. I see temptations, weapons, blind like dolphins dancing in mirth. So you don't need eyes to sin, and you can still rape even if you didn't intend. We rape the world like an innocent amphibian embracing a little girl. Someone once told me that if you trip a cord and turn off the lights are off, even if you didn't intend. Even if you didn't intend, in 10 years, will you be somewhere that you didn't intend? Will the lights be off or will you be woke? And what the fuck does it mean to be woke? And why is it cool to walk around telling everybody they're asleep? If you're so woke, why not pack away your pride and lead the wolves within a sheep in stride? If you're so woke, why don't you realize that we're still dying with or without our eyes? The definition of the blind leading the blind has a demise, because as far as I'm concerned, everything we know is compromised. Everything we know is compromised. So we have to unlearn, to relearn, to retract, to retrace, to replace, to reteach everything, every fucking thing we know. And I named this moonlight so that you know that you don't need eyes to be awake. The pain we intake as a race is deeper than space. It is infinite, like the moonlight. As promising as the sun's rays are, our plight has been an endless cycle. It seems that we only want to rise and grind to fuck or be fucked in more ways than one. But can we rise together and grind as one? Because a couple niggas sleeping can affect the foresight of everyone. I believe that a lot of our pain is suppressed in efforts to live to fight another day. And as this morbid red stains our fingertips, we walk through ruby bridges, finger painting pages we weren't written into. May our peace and light ignite for this great fight to come. May it break chains on the wrists of our fathers and sons. May the new Jim Crow subside to not be replaced by another one. May our suns still cool as they rise and set. May this poem right here be one that you never forget. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Trillery Swank. Judges, make sure you send in your scores to Maxine. It looks like they are missing 2 scores from the last poet. So make sure you get that in so we can get our poets scored and figure out who we're giving money. It looks like just 1 now. Look. Oh, that's 1 less than 2 or so I hear. I personally can't count, which is why I'm hosting and not scorekeeping. Let's see, on deck, we have Vibing Poetic, but give maximum love to the next person coming up on the virtual mic. Give it up for Colin.
Hi, can y'all hear me?
Yes, you have the floor.
Nice. A black boy flashes across my screen and I watch the oxygen leave his lungs. Lead empty his body of crimson. I watch as he becomes the earth he stood on, a home for grief. And I watch time and time again as death crawls its fingers around throats that look just like mine, as murder becomes viral videos. Another Facebook friend shares another video of black boy turned corpse and my heart beats to the rhythm of gunfire. Another mother screams for her baby to come back and her prayers become a hashtag. And I wonder, how many views will my murder be worth? How many weeks will my name trend, and how many times will another black boy replay my death before his eyes become lifeless too? How long before we stop traumatizing ourselves by watching our own execution, HD surround sound quality, with audio so crisp when the trigger pulls, we pause and check ourselves for bullets. My timeline has become a graveyard. Every post holds a eulogy. Every rest in peace holds a warning of how dangerous this skin can be. Every hashtag, a lecture of our own mortality. But what good is a blood-soaked lesson to the people trying to rinse themselves clean of it? How do we heal from trauma we are not yet removed from? How do we mourn a death that still has 5 million views on Facebook, still has an active comment section, some calling for another execution, others praying for a resurrection, but I want my Facebook page to become the gospel, the good news. one where every hymn is a song of gratitude and not of grief, a platform where no son feels forsaken by their father at the crucifixion. I want there to be no crucifixion. I want every hashtag to still be alive. I want videos of family meals, every face stuffed like this was their last supper. I want fashion videos where melanin teaches us that red is a color best worn on the inside, stories of parents playing with their children, pictures of Black boys and flowers of sun-kissed brown skin. I want joy and laughter and sunrises and sunsets that lead to more sunrises. I want a guaranteed tomorrow, a future filled with joy. I just want something that reminds us that this skin is worth living for.
Thank you. I was chewing on my dinner. Make sure you're eating food. I know that like now that we like can't eat out, like folks getting lazy and like not eating and like not cooking. Make sure you eat and cook. You're still important, no matter how unproductive you are. Nice. Do we have scores for, who are we missing scores for? Do you have scores for King Richard? Maxine?
Sorry, we're still missing one. I listed all of the judges' scores I currently have, but I still need
Hector.
Yeah.
Other Hector, where are you? Send your scores, bro. Can you resend those scores, Hector? Thank you. I know it's hard. Okay, we're gonna move on and we'll catch up with the scores in a second. Before we move on, you should follow us on social media. We have Facebook, the Berkeley Poetry Slam, Twitter and Instagram at Berkeley Poetry Slam. You should also follow us and support us on Patreon. If you go to patreon.com/Berkeley Poetry Slam, you can sign up to donate monthly. All of your donations go right back into running the show. Definitely check us out, support us, make sure that we are strong when we come back to the IRL world. Yeah, so on deck, we got Bambi, but give maximum love to the next person coming up on stage. Give it up for Vibing Poetic.
Just want to say thanks for popping my slam cherry. So
Hold on. What is your? Who are you on this Zoom meeting?
Daniel Levy, Vibing Poetic.
Okay, you have the floor.
Textbooks. What are they teaching? Written by what he said, she said, in 1 year out the deep end, swimming amongst my own weaknesses that I try to reason with, but how can I believe in it? When my own parents are achievementless, and these speeches that I'm collecting, pins and needles only because I'm not moving no matter what's presented, circulation set in, relaxation let in. This class might as well be a sedative because my eyes get heavier as we talk precedents. Mind bleeding from the bullshit you're feeding. See, there's a reason my parents can't figure my problems because they got their own shit on them they're trying to solve. And my friends, yeah, their parents in the same place. Wrinkles in their face from the sunburn, the heat of the dead to smother them with. How is learning about the periodic table going to pay my electric bill? Maybe Christopher Columbus can sell me to a better credit score. Shit, what is credit? Never had that before. I just go home just to get in focus. And the paper dangling, it reads eviction notice written on loose leaf, but we have no money trees, just a drawer for the bills to go in. See, the only bills I've learned about in school were the ones racist congressmen passed through. Rehearsed history at school. Yeah, I know what I know. Got an A+ in geography though, but I can't even find a place for my bed to go. And why is it so clear to see, but society stays blinded, covering the eyes of our minors with the education we provided? Because what you taught my parents that led to the debts is the same shit I take in what presidents has that set. And I don't need to be psychic. Get to predict what tomorrow's future has for me. It's not genetics. It's a path you crack for me. The straps on this backpack leave me no room. My mind's consumed with rhetoric you spit on me to seep through. I'm used, mismanaged, improperly guided. I'm used of the system that's the way to define it. And I feel like a foster child waiting for this carousel to spin on because you're exchanging my second set of parents while the others been gone. And my new teachers seem different. They're less concerned as me as an adolescent. Let me make sense of it though. Think where all my seconds went, hours spent, days, months, shit, the whole year. And my home may be in limbo, but my second home is right here. And yeah, I do pay my mortgage, but I can't see the sacrifice being worth it. It's like I'm working full time to never grow, never break the mold, never shed that shit that I learned from my siblings, that I learned from their parents' character traits and feelings. But the only characters I'm seeing are teaching me nothing about life or reason, nothing about getting harassed in a corner by a drug dealer because you carry that trait from your parents, that learn from the schools that you attend to. See, tell me how this education system is helpful. And I'm realizing now when I was in college, selling weed was the best form of economics. The demand was always high for my supply of hydroponics, but no one seems to care that I graduate with honors. See, those sticks and stems are baby shit. Teach me what's real. Teach me about the stickiest green you could feel before my brain that's a sponge becomes dry as fuck, like a slug that's been salted up. It's education or the drugs, I'm not sure. Opinions become facts and we let this gateway become us. But I'm force feeding my kids Hawaiian punch until they had enough because that's stevia creeping up and the realness is dry, teaching out the honesty, so I'm letting the real shit survive.
Thank you, thank you. That was Vibing Poetic. Judges, please send your scores into Maxine now. And we caught up on scores, yay. So King Richard had a 25.8, Trillery Swank had a 26.5, and Colin had a 27.6. Once again, it's not about the points, it's about the poetry. I'm so glad we got to listen to everyone that's going up tonight. On deck, we got a short intermission, smoke break, whatever you want to call it. But give maximum love to the last poet of the first round. Give it up for Bambi.
Bambi, you have the floor.
I had a dream my father killed me, dragged me by the dreadlocks into a dark hole. I woke up before he could slice my neck with a paintbrush. You see, my father is indeed an artist. If he killed me, it would be an aesthetic slaying. That's what we call true to character. Understand, my father is not a villainous man, and yet I can so easily see him attempt to paint me into a quiet, a soft mumble against a canvas, a hushed truth to his narrative. My father tends to draw me into an eraser. See, that's what we call true to character. I try not to poetry my father into a deadbeat, try to emphasize, but he came back. And he loves me, and I love my father. FaceTimed him the other day, and we never talk about him leaving. My father hides from truth like I have learned to, crosses out our past as if you can white out your mistakes. That's what we call foreshadowing character development. I once believed I poemed my father home, and spoiler alert, I didn't. See, I've always been my father's child. I think I have more of him running through my veins than anything else. This is what we call character irony. Once, I had a dream my father loved my mother again, came back, apologized to her for leaving us alone. Spoiler alert, he didn't. And this is what we call character bullshit. I don't think my father knows we were alone, in the dark, and scared. And that is what really killed me, being alone in such a dark hole when I first chopped my dreadlocks off. My father was mad. I didn't wait for him to be a witness, but Father, I was so afraid of you dragging me back into the dark hole I had to climb myself out of. And where were you? Why can I so easily see you attempt to paint me into a quiet? Is this what you are hiding from? My pain, my voice, your guilt, drag me, Father. You seem to be dragging me along a river of regret. I am nothing if not following you, treading backwards in the footprints you made so as to appear like you never made them at all. Is it my fault you weren't there? Wherever you went, could you not take me with you? I try so hard not to poetry my father into an eraser, like a being that is there until he is not, that will love you until he doesn't, that can white out the mistake that is you. And this is what we call a writer's power, to write the narrative, address the truth. Father, my hair does grow back, and our relationship does bloom, but not without the truth. That is what we call true to life.
Thank you, judges. Make sure you send Bambi's scores to Maxine. Before we announce Vibing Poetic scores, we're being live streamed. We are being live streamed courtesy of Bay Poets Unite. If you want to see more stuff from Bay Poets Unite, from Berkeley Slam, from Oakland Slam, from Rich Oak, from San Jose, and other Bay Area slams, check out the YouTube page. The link will be posted in the chat. But yeah, like and subscribe to us on YouTube. We got some dope videos up with some great quality. So yeah, support our page, support Bay Poets Unite. And I got Vibing Poetic scores. We've got, for Vibing Poetic, we have a 26.1. And I just got Bambi scores, which I'll announce before the break. We have a 27.5. All right, so we're gonna go on a quick, like, 5-minute break. How long should the break be, bout manager? This is your job.
5 to 10 minutes. I say we all report back here at 9:45.
Okay, we're gonna.
I'd say 5 minutes. This stream is not gonna go offline, so anything you say or do could be seen by everyone.
But what if we like turn off our cameras and mute the mics?
You are more than welcome to do that. But yeah, so I just, for that sake, I would say do 5 minutes. We don't really have a way to do like an intermission screen or anything for this, so take that as it is.
Okay, lit.
Alrighty.
What you can do is never mind, that's too much. Yeah, so
just put on lo-fi.
We're gonna go on a 5-minute break. During that time, drink, smoke, be merry, calm down, have your routine panic attack in your bathroom or whatever. And we'll see you back here at 9:40. In the second round, we'll take the top 5 poets. Even if you don't make it in the second round, stick around. It's great to have you here, and your presence is also important. And we'll see you in 5 minutes.
And I know you think you can go.
No, mute your mic.
Okay. Oh, am I? Oh.
Are we ready to come back?
I never left.
Lit. Do we have our list? Oh, let me start my video. Thank you, host, for reminding me. Oh, Lindemann Toast Crunch. Now let me make sure. Yeah, like, let's see. Half of our poets are not back. I see one judge. I see two judges. I see a competitor or 5. Judges, can you just say, like, give me a quick yee if you are here?
Yee.
Yee. Okay, so we got 3 judges. I see Risa. And then Hector. Hector the inspector.
He's probably taking a dump.
Oh my goodness, we're on a live stream. Like, you putting up people's personal business out here? Oh, damn, my hair.
Just
Which
Hector. I live with him.
Wow, you say it's just Hector. Like, not everybody lived with Hector, though.
Reggie, while we're waiting, can I plug a couple of things?
Yeah, definitely plug a couple things.
All right. So, hello, everyone. My name is Mike Hasso, and I am the slam organizer down in Visalia, California. I run the Loudmouth Poetry Jam, and we have a couple of things that we're doing to try to bring more poetry and make poetry accessible to everyone during this quarantine. The first one is that if you follow our Instagram page at Loudmouth Poetry Jam, we are doing daily interviews with poets for NaPoWriMo. I've been talking to a different poet each day, getting their insight on craft, their writing process, and how they're coping with all that's happening. Today I spoke with Karen Garabrandt all the way out in Atlanta. Tomorrow at 3 p.m. California time, I'm speaking to IWIP's champion, National Poetry Slam champion, Jay Ward from North Carolina. And also, due to everyone having to shelter in place, we are starting up a new open mic series called Shared Separation that we will be doing every second and fourth Thursday of the month. So if you want more details on that, follow us at Loudmouth Poetry Jam again. And if you're interested in signing up, just DM me. Thank you.
Lit. So yeah, Loudmouth Poetry Jam, check them out. They're doing a bunch of great stuff. Let's see. Are we still waiting on Hector? Bro, you can't be late to the thing and then be late to the end of the break.
Well, actually, Hector is one of the first ones here when they signed in. When I signed in, Hector was already here actually. So props for them being on time.
Oh, they were on time.
They were on time. Mm-hmm.
Look, my concept of time has been fucked up since March 16th. That's when we went on quarantine, for those of us who do not know. At least in the Bay Area, the yay area or whatever. It's nothing yay about this, but what should we do about judges?
You want to plug the Oakland show?
Hector is back.
Hector, you're back?
Mm-hmm. Hector's back.
Oh, okay. Okay. Lit, we have all of our judges. Let me read out the poets that will be going in the second round. And if you can give me a yee, if you are here. Oh, okay. Damn, I just lost it. Yes. So the poets will be reading in this order. We got Bambi, and then we got Vibing Poetic, and then we got Colin, and then we got Trillery Swank, and then we got King Richard. If you or any of those people, can I get a yee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I heard 5 yees. So we will get this G thing going. We're not gonna have a sacrifice. We're gonna just jump right in this, get our toes wet, get our weave wet. We're getting our hair done tomorrow anyway. So on deck, we got Vibing Poetic, but give maximum love to the first poet of the second round and send good energy to Bambi.
You have the floor.
Brown sugar sits in my black tea, sifts through the hot water. I watch it dissolve as she informs me that I'm just not like other black girls. Brown sugar sits in my soul. She swears I'm just brown and sweet, says I'm a lot less intimidating than the other black girls she's been on dates with. I think how there's been many of us, black beauties on dates clutching tea or coffee as creamless as we are. Hearing this narrative, the only native thing about the person sitting across from us, she says, I'm so quiet for a black girl. I think, how dumb of her. As a white bitch, to take my quiet as anything more than calculating, creating a possible situation where I don't toss this tea on her face so she can feel the burn on her skin, the same burn I feel every time I hear this bullshit. How dumb of her to think it's acceptable to say I'm an exception to my own race, as if my race ain't beautiful, as if my race ain't brilliant, as if my race ain't paving waves and making moves. We sit in a cafe dedicated to black women. I wonder if she's oblivious. And I wouldn't be surprised. Maya Angelou lines the bookshelf. I wonder if she's lost her damn mind. I keep my cool. I stir my brown sugar. I watch it dissolve. And this is when you'd expect me to get up and leave. On some, I'm going to let you finish Kanye shit. Interrupt her whole moment. Fuck up her entire flow. This speech, she's waited so long to be able to say ruined by my absence. Let her sit there and think. But I look at the bookshelf, I look at my tea, I look at her, and I say, you don't deserve to sit here. Don't deserve to breathe the same air as any black woman. We all hold worlds within our fingertips, have birthed masterpieces with our lips. Listen when I tell you, none of us are quiet. Our skin is always screaming, always burning, always black, always beautiful, and you've got us completely fucked up. So get up and leave.
Thank you. That was Bambi. All right, judges, you know what to do. Y'all are experts. Send your scores over to Maxine. Vitamin Toast Crunch. Before we continue, we're not the only show in the Bay Area that has moved to online. So we have, I'll shout out 2 now and 2 later. We have first and third Saturdays on Instagram at Rich Oak Alchemy is the Rich Oak Alchemy open mic. So if you want to know how to sign up for that, go to Instagram. It's pretty lit. And then third Tuesdays, meaning next Tuesday, through Zoom. Check out our Facebook and our Instagram tomorrow for that information. It'll be up tomorrow. It's not up today, but it'll be up tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be doing another slam through Zoom just like this. So you should check out the sign up list. Everyone who signed up today should sign up. If you didn't get a chance to sign up today, you missed the deadline because you procrastinate too much. I feel you on a spiritual level, ADHD buddies, but most importantly, don't procrastinate on this one and sign up again.
Oakland Slam will also be on Bay Poetry Night.
Yeah, Oakland Slam will also be on Bay Poetry Night. So if you subscribe to the YouTube channel, you can catch the live stream. Subscribe and put your notifications on so you know when we're going live. Don't be lame and like figure it out like 3 days later. For sure. So on deck, we have, let me look back at this list. Gotta scroll on deck. We have Colin, but give maximum love to the next poet coming up to the virtual stage. Give it up for Vibing Poetic.
You have the mic.
Deep Eyes Horizon. The connection is vibrant. I'm vibing, and this time I'm trying. Real hard she makes me. Happiness unseen like this lately. Before they break me, letting my walls escape me. Elevating the crevice of a mind that holds feelings I've never felt before. I'm not sure, but this could be that thing they call love, dealt to explore. Wading in the water, a pool of my own thoughts, I'm drowning. Her passion rescued me safely. The anchor to my hating, the cure to my pain, she's my relaxation. I'm for sure infatuated because instead of the fat from bacon, I'm gaining weight on the lack of her fakeness. Saying it weighs heavy that she's real. That grade A 7-course meal, that jacket when you happen to find a rolled up $100 bill, that stain that when it wipes off with one touch, like my heart when it was struck from the lightning you thrust. If looks could kill, I'd be the first one whacked. Sopranos singing because of laws we attract. Our eyes lock this box where my heart's concealed. It's a new scene and it's me and her still. That corny romance you say that'll never be. Now I'm looking through her irises like it stems from our memories. I want to go to that restaurant and get my favorite meal and have it taste the same way every damn time. I want to cook like I'm getting filmed because I'm skilled with a knife in a pan. On a beach with white sand with no plans, I'm chilling. You got me loving you like I love food. We all know the root of your love grows from your esophagus too. Come swallow this mood, it's love and goes down smooth. If life's a box of chocolate, she's a melted chocolate on top of everything I like that's not love. But what is love actually? Is it when I move your hair behind your ears to see that portrait of a face? Is it me telling you everything will be okay, even though I know there's problems I'll inherit, take stress off your plate? Is it looking into your beautiful big eyes to ensure the reality through your soul is a place you won't go alone? I'm by your side. Is it that dad joke when you want your day to end, cornbread flinging, mashed potato feelings, but I got you grinning? Is love when my days gasoline and my thoughts light a match, but your words extinguish any negatives that I might have? Is love when I make sure you get yours before I get mine, because my satisfaction is a smile you provide. So I'm telling, step aside, cold hearts, the warmth is freezing over. Tears of the ice melt off my shoulder, the heat from when I hold you. Old events with new company, washing the hands of what was hunting me and what's been done to me. The past is a scorched blaze waiting to exhale. As I walked up on this calm plank, new sight set to sail. That feeling when there's one parking spot at the front of the lot that's feet away from your entry. That feeling when your paycheck comes a day early and you happen to be financially hurting. It was a godsend to alleviate this burden. You're worth it, I'm certain. I've climbed through toxic wastelands, burning bridges as I walked. My heart took stitches in the path that I fought. I became a warrior, traversing seas of tears, blood, sweat, bullshit that I saw. But today, I'm not wrong. It was all worth the hurting. You give me purpose. You're perfect, baby. And LOVE, hard for me to believe I love you, my person.
Thank you. That's Vibing Poetic, everybody. Judges, make sure you send your scores to Maxine. And let me see. And Bambi had a score of a 27.7. Send love to the poet. Fuck the points. You get the idea by this point. On deck, we got Trillery Swank. But give maximum love to the next person coming up on the virtual stage. Give it up for Colin.
You have the floor.
All right. I'm tired of white people complaining about reverse racism. So to combat this, I've decided to actually be reverse racist. For example, when I see white people walking down the block, I cross the street. Lock my car door when they walk past my window, don't know what they will steal from you when you leave your valuables out in the open, like what if they want to shoot me or rob me of my rights? So I clutch my backpack on the elevator or the bus or the subway. When we make eye contact, I make my lips disappear just to let them know exactly how much their skin makes mine crawl, and they never notice a thing. Like they wouldn't know racism even if you called them a nigger, and trust me, I've tried that too. Point being is that they don't notice the racism because they never had to look out for a racist, never had to learn to tell the difference between the sound of a locking door and a cocked gun, of a clutched bag and an itchy trigger finger. There is no difference between the lookless smile behind each. The difference between racism and reverse racism is the element of fear. So what exactly were you afraid of, Chad, when the black kid called you mayonnaise boy in elementary school? Did the chorus of laughter feel like a firing squad? Do you wake up at night in a cold sweat, still choking, neck still hot from the burn of a lucid rope, a nightmare of your body swaying to the breeze in front of a black crowd chanting mayonnaise boy, mayonnaise boy, mayonnaise boy? If so, you should get some therapy and thug that shit out like the rest of us. But we both know that this had nothing to do with fear and everything to do with your ego, that you were never afraid of the black boy, just being less than the black boy, being less than on top, toppling down the rest. And when you make it there, to the top, walking down the street all happy-go-lucky to your newly gentrified apartments, I'll be waiting for you with a flashlight and a neighborhood watch hat on. Like, what you doing here, boy? I ain't seen you around here, boy. Your kind ain't welcome around here, boy. Don't cry. This isn't Uno. You don't get to reverse this race card. Just pull yourself up by your bootstraps. Be glad we haven't cut them yet. Feel the sting of having to look up at yet another black boy looking down on you. Feel the stench of humiliation burn your nose each time you breathe, and realize that through all this, you are still breathing. So it can't be that bad, right?
Thank you, thank you. That was Colin. Judges, please give your scores to Maxine. You know the drill. Dab on it real quick. And Vibing got a 25.6. Yeah, something about the poet, something about it not being about the points. Y'all know what's up. On deck, we have King Richard, but give maximum love to the next person coming up to the virtual mic. Give it up for Trillery Swank.
You have the floor, Trillery.
Okay. Endless symphonies lick lobes of the sonata that is you and I. If only we comply. Sweet surrender at our thighs and our eyes compromise with the contour of the skies. The entire sea daring to flood and fall, but we'd rather drown in its canvas than crawl into each other's crescent. Our foreign exchange incessant, inspiring a reality in which I'm no longer inactively quiescent, ruled by tendrils of impulse as if stripped like a pheasant, and the only thing I yearned for was the ravage of your essence. Illustrated by the celeste underneath my acrylic fingertips, coating my lips with a crimson incubus, your tongue outlining the frame, a trail of fire to neck, beneath it, your name, before a pinch or an inch can be felt, I'm enraptured by flames. Headlights flicker. My mouth formed an O as the orgasm came. Headlights flicker, illuminating the sea that runs from my hips to the knob of my knees. The shore stops at eyelids as I struggle to breathe, teeth whispering to flesh outside of cave. Are you cheating on me? Biting every corner, muffling every word made, my silhouette a slave to what my conscience forbade, my cigarette immorally depraved of the nicotine I craved, your chest concaves as you exit my enclave. 6 inches of sorry at waist, sandcastles barricade waves falling from my guys, and my thrifted Levi's improvise as freedom rings from circumcised. But hold up, I've got all night for this love drought to climb into the gout of gooch. And I pray that you catch me by the precipice of my clit's prepuce. And as I fall forward, daddy lessons swivel out the bottom of some bomb Pousse's hooch, buried within the follicles of my immediate family roots. They're all I have, all 3 of them. And despite their half-hearted embrace, I still seek respect and recluse within your arms that reach no further than the father that I can never introduce. Yeah, I'm another Black female with daddy issues and a fear of reproducing. That's why drunk thumbs are in formation in search for restitution. And as I scavenge for you, I fear the breath of substitution. Tell that bitch Becky with the good hair that I send kind regards and smooches with my juices. As you find happiness beyond me, I'll be building institutions with my savory words, with your lackluster lies, with the zest of half lemon grated into chives to metabolize the cancer that has metastasized. Lemonade, or half and half as I like to call it, because I like a little tea, no shade in mine. Thank you.
Thank you. That was Trillery Swank, everybody. Judges, send in your scores to Maxine. And Colin got a 27.6. So yeah. On deck, we find out, we have finding out who gets this cash app. Who gets cash apps, because cash is gross right now, and like some of y'all are like across the country, so that's going to be kind of awkward trying to give y'all cash. But give maximum love to the last poet of the night. Give it up for King Richard.
You have the floor.
Let's set the stage. We see the backdrop of a black top where another black drops dead. Black blood sprawled across a concrete canvas. The color almost reminds me of the curtains. Curtains drawn back to reveal a bound black boy, a maestro, masterfully conducts a melody to mirror the mutilated melanin when the movement is over. The crowd erupts with applause and cries for an encore. And we give them one. But this time, after the next black body drops dead, after the echo of the officer feared for his life and obvious attempts to turn the massacred into monster, I am reminded, Black death is beautiful. Black death is an art form. Black death is poetic. Black bodies have turned into poetic devices. No need to spend hours writing a poem, conjuring up a collection of similes, metaphors, and rhyme. In no time, you can command an arsenal of bastardized black bodies, bend and shape them to suit your needs. Who needs a complex metaphor when you can use a dead black body in its place? Example, this poem, too bland to be a black poem. I guess I need to season it with Sandra's blood. That's just what it needed. Just a few drops are all that's needed to really leave the audience hanging on the edge of their seats. This poem ain't got enough brown to make it black. I guess that's why Michael will never be back to hear it. I guess I need to Eric Garner up even more murdered melanin to make my message more palatable, even though in saying the name, I can hardly breathe. I can hardly breathe. I can hardly breathe, but I just can't do this anymore. From now on, I must simply use my own. I mean, we all doomed to die anyway, destined to have our blood sprawled across a concrete canvas. The boys in blue are the real artists here. I mean, if Derek Wilson wore a body cam, he could have won an Oscar for his hit movie, Michael Brown. Hashtag Oscar so white, sometimes I wonder how beautiful my death will be on a body cam. Sometimes I wonder how many stanzas will be written in my honor, how many will win someone a poetry slam, become a New York Times bestseller. Wonder, will it spark a cacophony of tweets on Black Twitter, or will Twitter tweet back all the white reasons the officer was simply doing his job? Sometimes I wonder how many accolades will be accumulated after my body is mutilated for America's entertainment. And I know they can't wait to see me on that stage. I know because I can hear them now. I can hear the applause, the endless rows of patrons screaming, encore, encore, encore.
Thank you. That was King Richard, everybody. Nice. Trillery Swank got a 27.2. Lit. So like we've reached the end of the slam while we're waiting for the scores to come back and get the final tabulations. I'll shout out the last two shows. We have the anybody from Santa Cruz, is Word Church doing stuff online?
Not from Santa Cruz, but I've been there so many times. I basically was raised at the on the word church scene.
Tino,
But
I can talk about Santa Cruz too.
yeah, do it. Yeah, Risa, please. You
Yeah.
hosted their show once, right?
Yeah, I hosted their show last week. So they're doing an Instagram live show every Monday.
Lit.
And at 5 p.m. they post a sign-up sheet on their Instagram, Legendary Collective. And then at 6, the open mic starts. It usually lasts about an hour to an hour and a half. And everyone who signs up before 6 gets a chance to read. So yeah, go check it out.
Yeah, and I'm just gonna plug our last show that's doing shit shit online in the Bay Area. Yours truly, Berkeley Slam. We're here every Wednesday. We have a great lineup of features and open mics going on for the next couple of weeks. Definitely be on the lookout for that. Do we have a feature next week?
Our feature is going to be Alejandro Jimenez.
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, I'm not kidding.
Liniment Toast Crunch. Okay, so check us out next week.
Bay Poets Unite will also be doing rewatching of director's cuts of some of the shows.
Yeah, so like our live streams, we're gonna be looking back at them and like talking shit, basically, you know, or like just talking about like what it was like that night. You know, we did it last week with our with the show when Pages Matam featured, and it was a lit night of re-looking at that. So you should definitely be on the lookout for that. But y'all aren't here for future shows. Y'all are here for the current. So, oh God. In third place, we have Trillery Swank. Woo! Audience applause, audience applause. Everybody's like really excited. I know I am. Is there anything you'd like to say to the crowd?
Yes. Thank you so much for giving me the opportunity to participate. I'm actually from Brooklyn. And I don't know, it's something about Oakland. Like you guys just offer so much for young Black artists. And I just really appreciate having the chance to share my art with you guys. Thank you. And Colin, I'm done. And Bambi, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Judges, thank you so much for being consistent. But y'all was just a little bit too fucking consistent because we have a tie for first place. We have a tie, Bambi and Colin. So how are we gonna do this? We're gonna do a haiku death match. Fuck the bullshit. Don't look at me like that, Colin. Fix your face. We're gonna do a haiku death match. So I'm gonna give y'all time to write a haiku. Let's do a theme for it. The theme is stuck in the house. I need a Koran poem.
That's like disrespectful.
You don't have to be stuck in the house for Corona. You could be stuck in the house because you don't go nowhere. You could be stuck in the house because you're grounded.
Haiku is 575, right?
Yes, 575.
Okay.
But don't ask me to check y'all because like I can't count. But yeah, while we're waiting for them to get it together, what should I do to stall?
It's gonna work, Reggie.
What?
How are we gonna judge these haikus?
We got 5 judges. Judges, I want you to send Maxine we're poet we're gonna listen to both poets, and then at the end you're gonna send to Maxine which poet you think should
Are we doing 1 or 2, or is it just gonna be by their name?
Fuck it, by their name. 1 or 2 is like too much.
Okay.
because I'll forget which number y'all is and then be like fucking it up myself. So like, but I won't forget your names. At least I hope not, seeing as they're on a screen in front of me. But yeah, let's see. What should I do to stall?
Who's going first?
Yeah, let's figure out who's going first. I am thinking of a number between 1 and 1,000. Wait, let me think of it. All right. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 1,000. What is it?
5.
I'm gonna go with 666.
Okay, it's 999. Colin, you're closest, so you're going first.
Whoa! I thought if I win, I get to pick.
That's what you get for thinking and not clarifying. It's always important to ask clarifying questions.
Redo?
It wouldn't have mattered either way. You would have been going first. Okay, so Colin, you're going first. And we'll give y'all 10 more seconds to come up with your haiku. 10, 9, 8, 7, 1. Colin, you are on.
All right.
You have the floor.
Soap and water works. Help stop coronavirus. Wash your goddamn hands.
That was Colin. No applause, although I can't hear you anyway. And next we have Bambi.
Listen to silence. Only get some sexting. Fuck this online loving.
All right. So we got Colin and Bambi. So send in your scores now. Is this what Ryan Seacrest feels like on fucking American Idol?
No, because this is a quality show.
And you're not a white twink.
You know, stop trying to get the stream taken down.
Right? Like, whoa, what is him having to do? Like, I don't know, like twink is a slur. It is not. Please don't quote me on this. Please do not quote me on this. Do not give people who actually think twink is a slur the power by quoting me on this. Please don't. Yeah. Still waiting on those scores. Still waiting on those scores. Still waiting on those scores. Yeah. Has anybody seen Tiger King?
Why are you even gonna bring that up like that?
You know what? Because honestly speaking, like in order to like really tackle the issues in our community, we got to speak on them.
Okay, you turn that around real quick.
Hold up.
Wait, and can we actually talk about like the fact that a gay redneck that abuses tigers running for president was not the wildest shit to happen in 2016?
Wasn't even the wildest shit.
Yo.
Wasn't even making the headlines.
Right.
So why is it that that Joe Exotic is the only presidential candidate that is in prison right now?
Because all this suspect shit.
All I got is O.J. Simpson said Carol Baskin killed her husbands and killers.
Wait, oh shoot. Okay. Are we okay? One more judge. Who's the last judge who?
My bad.
Come on now. Come on now.
Come on, man.
Okay. Can I get a An at-home drum roll, please. In first place, winning $50 via Cash App. Give it up for Bambi. Hey, screams, applause. The crowd goes wild. Is there anything you'd like to say to the world?
Yeah, thank you, judges. For the world, I have a book.
You do?
I do. It's called Accidentally Ordered an Espresso. You know, you can find the link in my Instagram bio. My Instagram is @catharticflower. And yeah, it's $15.50 if you want to buy it. That would be nice. Okay, that's all. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you, Bambi. Thank you, Colin. Thank you, Trillery. Thank you, every single person who touched this virtual slam tonight. I know it was the highlight of my week and the only Zoom meeting that I actually wanted to attend. So shout out to that. We will be back here next week. In the meantime, tell your friends, buy Bambi's book, follow everybody on social media if they'll let you. Go to Ariana Brown's website, arianabrown.com, buy her books, support our slam. We will see y'all next week, same time, same place. Keep it classy.